Let us look at a real patent to understand how does it look like, what are its contents, and how to really make sense of this document. I have taken a pizza patent just for being a simple invention and easy for across my viewers to understand this patent. First thing, if you see, notice the page I am showing now. This is the front page of the patent. As I have indicated here, the contents of this are, there is a title. In this case it says pizza tray or pan, which indicates in just a sentence what is this invention about. It basically distills the entire invention and captures in a phrase or in a sentence. There are some bibliographic details here, like when was this filed, who is the inventor, when was this published actually, and then when was this filed, and what is the abstract of this invention. Abstract basically captures in a paragraph the essence of this invention. Now let's move to the description section, which is basically consisting of the text which describes the invention. If we go from top to bottom, we can see there is a field of invention which broadly talks about what is the field of this particular invention. If you see here, the font is little difficult to read, but I will try to explain that in this case the invention relates generally to a tray or pan for preparing and serving pizza, and then it gives a little more qualification saying it relates to a thin steel pizza tray with added dimensional stability. So it is giving you a clue as to what this invention is about. And then moving to the background of the invention. This basically talks about all the efforts that have gone to solve a particular technical problem so far, which means till this particular invention in the past, what are the various approaches taken to solve the problem. But the key thing to remember in background of invention is the problem still remains, which leads us to the present invention, which is going to solve that problem, right, which is described in detail in the detailed description of the invention. And a summary is, again, as the word implies, summarizes the invention in maybe a paragraph or two. So this description basically is intended to give out all the details of the invention. So basically it is a disclosure of it's one important component of the disclosure of the invention, so that a person like you or me reading this can understand the invention. Of course, when I say a person, it means a person who is skilled in this art will understand what is the invention and how is it being implemented, what are the various aspects of the invention. All these aspects should be disclosed in detail. From the description, now we are in the claim section. What is a claim? What is it so different from description? Why are we seeing these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till number 20? What are these 20 numbers here? What do they indicate? Well, to put it in very simple words, the entire invention now needs to be described in an unambiguous manner to give it a legal sanction, which means what you are claiming in this section is definitely what you want protection for your invention, which means this is the protection that you are seeking from the patent office. So it needs to be written in an unambiguous manner so that the invention is written in as clear terms as possible. And also, if this invention enters into a legal dispute, then when the patent goes to the court of law, then the judge should be able to read each of these claims and understand it and interpret it the way you have conceived this idea. Having seen the claim briefly, now let's dive into the claim itself to see how they are structured and how to make sense of them. Because after all, claim forms the heart of your patent, and it is very important for you to read and understand and really make sense of what lies within these claims. So in this case, as it is obvious that there are 20 claims, and the first claim here, which starts with the letter A, basically gives an indication that this is a independent claim. Okay, and what is this claim talking about? Let's quickly go through this. A pizza tray or pan composed of steel. So it is clearly defining that it's a pizza tray which is composed of steel. So the material of this pan is well defined. Now then it is using this word comprising. So this has got a legal meaning attached to it. We will not get into that, but what comes after this is typically the body of your patent. Okay, what I have highlighted here, this forms the body of your claim, or in fact body of your invention, that particular invention that you are trying to capture here. Whereas the initial part is called as preamble. It is setting a stage for you to go and define your invention. So broadly this talks about your field of invention, whereas what comes after the word comprising is your actual invention. What is the inventive step? What are the features that your invention is all about? So in this case you can see they are talking about annular ribs extending around the periphery of said wall. So this describes in as much clarity the invention. Of course, to read and understand these claims, it is important to refer back to the description section and also the drawings provided to basically get a complete picture of the claim, which means the annular ribs mentioned here can be referred back to the description to see what do they mean by these annular ribs. Have they described it in more details? Are they hollow, or do they contain some kind of material within the ribs? Are there any other features? Can we look at the drawing to make more sense? So all these aspects form an important part of reading a claim and thus understanding the entire invention in toto. Having seen the independent claim, let us look at a couple of dependent claims and what do they talk about. If you see the second claim, it is referring back to the claim 1. The pizza tray or pan according to claim 1. It is saying it's according to claim 1, and further it says is formed from a unitary sheet of steel, which means this entire first claim plus a unitary sheet of steel. Rather than plus, I would say further qualified, or it has further features. The steel material which makes up this pizza tray, the claim 2 says it is made of a unitary sheet of steel. Similarly, if you go to the claim number 3, which happens to be a dependent claim, but it is dependent on another dependent claim, which is a claim 2, right? And it is defining in further detail the ribs, defining what is the range of the bend radius of these ribs. Having seen these claims, if you feel a little lost, don't worry. Even I was kind of confused when I first read these claims, and it didn't make a lot of sense. Why is someone writing it in such a convoluted manner, or where they are repeating things? they are saying the same things again and again. Well, that's the way a claim is written, so that it is unambiguous to a reader, so that it is interpreted by you and by me and by everyone in the same manner. There is no multiple interpretation of the claims. But don't really worry about getting bogged down too much about the claims. As you start reading these claims, I am very sure you will figure out how to understand these claims, and understand the entire patent itself, and really make sense what are they trying to capture in this invention. So I will now go to the drawing section, because that will close the entire patent, and let's go to the drawing section. Now we are in the drawing section. So what you see here is a simple illustration of the invention, the pizza tray obviously. So various parts are denoted with the numbers. Let's say the number 24, maybe it talks about the ribs, or 27, 25. Some of these indicate the ribs, and there are other nibs and other points which are explained in detail in the invention. So the way to really make sense of this patent is, take a printout of the entire patent document, look at the drawings, keep the drawings on the left side and your claim and description, and start matching them to see how does it actually look when it is illustrated in the drawings, because then you will get a complete picture that okay, so this is the claim, this is what they mean in written in the claim, and this is how it is illustrated in the drawings. So that will help you not only understand, but in a figurative manner visualize and come to a clear understanding of the invention. Let's look at a couple of more drawings down the sheet. Different views are given. If this was an isometric view, a cross-sectional views or side views, top views, this looks like a cross section. I think this looks like a top view. So different views are given of the invention to basically capture the essence of the invention here in as many drawings as possible, to ensure that your invention is very clearly captured using claims, drawings, descriptions. All these together capture your invention in the patent document. Okay, so we have looked at an entire patent document. It's a real patent document, and examined the key elements of these of the patent document. That includes the front page, description, claims, drawings, and try to give you a picture of how to read and make sense of this document. I hope it was useful, and keep reading these documents, and I'm sure you will be able to clearly master the art of reading these technical documents. On the face they may look a little, having a little legal language. Of course there is a legal language, but it is not a very tough nut to crack. In your own domain, pick up these patents and start reading them. I'm sure you will appreciate the technical content and use it in your problem solving. Of course, I'll be sharing a lot more of details on where to access these information in some of my future videos, because after all I am a patent information scientist professional. So I will be glad to share those resources from where you can access these patents free of cost.